Welcome to Kingdom Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Latricia Roberts. Listen, we're still talking about marriages, and tonight it's going to be a special show. It's going to be fun and exciting, so grab your spouse, sit down, get some coffee or soda, and let's talk about marriage. Let me bring in my co-host, none other than the Apostle, Tanya Stewart. Hello, my sister.
Hello, my sister.
Welcome back.
Oh, it's such a privilege to be here.
It's going to be awesome tonight.
Kingdom
Nation.
It's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to look. We're here to change your life. We're here to shift everything about you into a new place in God. Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
Because we're advancing the kingdom of Christ. God is good, and so we're excited that you came back to be with us. Listen, call your girlfriends if you think you want to, your friends, if you think you want to be a husband, if you think you want to be a wife, you've come to the right place today.
Come on, join us today, because you're going to receive some nuggets and some wisdom and insight that will change your perspective about marriage. And the roles
that each other play, our respective roles. But I want to do this before we jump in. I want to go back and just recap a few things.
Okay.
Because, and let me say this, if you didn't get a chance to see last week's show, which was part one, which was
see
What is Marriage?
Yes.
Then I need you to go out to our YouTube page and subscribe, because all the new shows are uploaded there. And so we need you to subscribe and just sit there and begin to go through the videos, get your pen and paper, and really start taking notes, because sometimes we have some different thought processes of what marriage really is.
That's true.
And so last week we talked about what is marriage, and some wonderful things came out. Like you have to be able to function in every room other than the bedroom. We just don't go there already.
And the kitchen.
So ladies, let me say, if you don't know how to cook, get some classes. Don't keep burning the chicken, please. And then we found out that God hates
divorce.
He hates divorce. Did y'all hear me? He
hates divorce.
And we did some statistics, and that was, if you're in church and you know God, you got a better chance not to get a divorce than if you don't know him. Hello, somebody.
That's right.
So it says that, and we discussed also that there's 3 people in that marriage: God, then you, and your spouse.
That's right.
And so he makes up that part where all of us lack. Hello, somebody.
Yes.
He is that part. And when you really fall in love with God, you learn how to appreciate your spouse.
Yes.
And so we talked about some good stuff last week, so you need to go back and watch that video. And so right now we're going to go ahead and jump into today's show, and that is the roles of the husband and the wife. What is a wife? What is a husband?
Oh, my goodness.
Because nowadays the lines have got real blurred. I went there already.
Oh, my goodness.
Is my microphone on? Did I say
yes,
that
you
out?
did.
Okay,
say that out loud.
I said it.
Yes, you did say it out loud.
I did.
A wife?
A wife.
It's different than a girlfriend. Because a wife has benefits. Okay. A wife has benefits. Yes, she does. We went there, didn't we?
Yeah, we out there now.
A girlfriend and some shacking partner won't do.
Ooh,
okay. That's why we want the ring.
Okay, we're going to turn off her microphone.
Okay, we're going to turn off. Okay, we went there, didn't we? A wife is a partner.
Yes.
To the man that she said I do to.
Come on.
That's what a wife role is to her husband, a partner.
A partner. Not a slave.
Not a slave.
Come on.
Not someone that just cooks everything, but a partner who coming one with each other for the furthering of the kingdom.
But now see, I thought it was about me.
No, it's not about you.
I thought it was about...
That was the last. It's not about you.
Yeah, that was the last.
It's about the righteous seed that's going to be going forth from that marriage.
Yes,
and those children.
If we're referring to some things you never heard before, go back and watch the first video on what marriage is. I even went so far as to define it, and according to the dictionary, it says a wife is a married woman.
A married woman.
Not somebody pretending to be married.
No.
Especially when considered in relationship to her partner in marriage. It didn't say her overseer, but it says her partner. A lot of times when we go into marriages, we are thinking partner, but sometimes the man is not.
No, that is true, and that's where a lot of the problems begin, because women, as a woman we want to be a wife that's treated as a partner, not someone that's looking over us in the wrong manner as of control. But we want to be seen by our husbands as a partner who are working together to better the marriage, to make us one, because there is a process that we go through together to become one.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. A lot of times if you look at even at the world, we didn't get our rights. We was the last people to get rights, women was.
Yes.
And we had to fight for those. And so the last thing we want to do is get into a marriage and still have to fight.
Yes.
Now watch this. God ordained marriage back over in Genesis.
Yes, he did.
Watch this, but here's the order, and we went over this last week too, and that was the man got his image first. He got it from God. He got his identity.
Yes, he did.
And then he got placed in the garden. He had a job.
Yes.
You ain't saying nothing. And then he got the woman.
So he learned what responsibility was before he said, I do. Before he said, I do, he had a job.
He had a job. And watch this, we've all, especially when we're younger, we don't know any better.
Yes.
But when, what is that scripture that says, when I was a child?
I spoke as a child.
Well, he said, I thought as a child.
And then I understood.
He even understood a child. But when you become a grown person, if you will, because now we're talking grown people stuff.
Yeah.
You got to put away your childish things. And when you're thinking about getting married, you have to understand it's not just about you anymore.
No.
And as a husband,
Yes.
you have responsibilities to take care of.
That's right.
So I don't know where some of these men are getting it from, where they can, get married and they don't have to take care of their wives. They don't have to do anything. And let me say this too, for the blended families, if you're taking on the husband role, you take on the father role to those kids, even if they have another father. As long as they're in your house, you ain't saying nothing.
That's right.
Because see, some of this stuff we got going on now, it's not right. It's not right.
No, it's not right. But we have to understand that we're becoming a family. That means that everybody is included in the family. There's no little I's, little U's.
Right,
There's no, that's sister so-and-so's daughter. That's sister. No, we're all one big family.
You're all one.
So that everybody is treated the same.
The same.
And that's the difference between in the blended families. The children are the ones that are at stake. We have to love all the children.
The children are ones at stake, but sometimes they know how to play the parents too.
Oh, yes, that's true.
They
do.
They know how to play. Well, you're not my daddy. You're not my mom, or whatever the case is. In my particular case, that I can speak about me, my stepdad, I didn't, pull that card with him. I didn't pull that card to my mom, because she would have gladly straightened me out real quick.
Yes.
Watch this. There was no ADD. There was none of that. There was no medicine in my house. It was called a belt. You ain't saying nothing.
And that's true, because that's where the order begins. It is established between that mother and that father of that child.
You're right. You're
and then, therefore, they can't play that card if it's established in order that you're not going to do this to him and you're not going to do this to me.
You're right. So let's go back and look at this too. As a husband and wife, before you get married and say I do, you got to have some conversations.
Yes.
And those conversations have to be geared around where your future's going.
Yes.
If you're thinking about marriage, there's some questions you need to be asking, and you're going to say, well, that's none of my business. I wanted to know how my husband did in school, what kind of grades he got, how did he act, and I watched him interact with his mom. Didn't say anything, because I wanted to know if he knew how to treat his mother, he would know how to treat me.
That's right.
Come on.
And I believe in that, because when I met my husband, I wanted to see how he handled things, how he took care of business, who he was as a man of God. And when we see that kind of role model in front of us, then we can see what kind of person he is, not only on the outskirts, but on the inside.
So now let's go back, because we're talking about the different offices, being a husband or a wife.
Yes.
And as a wife, we're both wives.
Yes.
As a wife, do I have to obey my husband?
Yes, you do. Yes.
Did y'all see my necklace crook? Did y'all?
Yes, I said yes.
Did she say yes?
I said it loud. Yes,
Yes.
we do.
You know what? As we were studying for the show, I looked up the old vows.
Yes.
And nowadays, people take obey out of the vow.
Wow, why?
Well, why? Women have been so browbeat with obeying and submitting, especially the men who have issues within themselves. Because a real man, abuse, the whole nine. A real man never has to storm through the house or walk through the house. I'm the man. You got to do what I tell you. If he's doing that, he's not really in control. My husband never has to stop through the I'm the man. You better do what I tell you. It's not like that. And I don't have to go, I'm the woman. You got to do. No. When you're comfortable in who you are, when you're confident in you being the wife,
it shows.
It shows. It really does show. So the husband shouldn't have to stomp around and say, I'm this, so I'm that. But the flip side of that, neither does the wife. No. So sometimes we hear that word obey and we get a little frightful. Do I have to obey him? If my husband asks me to do something, then yes. Now, if it goes against what God said, then we're going to have a whole conversation about that. Because that's something different. We both say, why would you be asking me to do something wrong anyway?
That's right.
Now the honest truth is, if there's some church women out there or men married to unsaved spouses.
Yes.
And we have to draw that line at what is really godly and what is not godly.
That's right. A whole conversation needs to be.
Several.
Yes, because you don't want to be out of the will of God.
Right.
And that man or that woman shouldn't want you to be out of the will of God if they love you like they say.
So now let's talk about the role of the wife.
Well, let's talk about the role of the wife.
So she has to obey.
Yes.
Submit.
Yes.
She has to, is my job just basically cooking and cleaning?
No, it's not. You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
The Proverbs 31 woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was a businesswoman.
Yes, she was.
She took care of her family, and she did a lot of things. Even her children. She did a lot of. Yes, her children called her blessed.
Yeah.
She did a lot of things to make sure the household was taken care of, and her husband had a place to come, and it was a place of safety and a place of comfort. And so as a wife, we set the tone in our homes when our husbands come in the door or when they rise up in the morning, how their day is going to start and end.
Yeah.
And so when he comes home from work, he ought to come home to a place where there's peace and not chaos, a place where he can call a refuge, a place where he can just say,
just take a breath. I use the term Zen, because then usually they represent peace, but I'm saying when he comes, like you say, this is his place of safety, of relaxation. When he walk in the door, now everybody can't do what I do because every man runs his household differently.
That's right.
But when my husband walk in the door, the first thing, I'm not hitting him with bills.
That's right.
I'm not hitting him with that. Watch this. Give him time to unwind.
Yes.
Let him get himself together. Watch this. You don't know what kind of day he's had at work.
That's right.
And if you're going to be able to build up your house, because the Bible says a wise woman buildeth her house. She's continually building. She's not tearing it down. So when he walk in the door, she ain't going off. She ain't yelling. None of that.
You said something.
What?
A wise woman builds, adds, strengthens her house. A foolish woman calls a man out his name, call him a dog, call him all kind of things that are unfruitful, and she wondering why he won't come home. A man doesn't want to come home to a place where he's not respected or honored.
Did you just say that?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Please write to Apostle Tanya. Write to Apostle Tanya Stewart. I agree with her, but I'm just saying you could write.
Who wants to come home?
Nobody wants. But watch this. We as women, we don't think of it that way, and then we got to look at our men from a male's perspective. Yes. They've tired. They've been at work all day, especially now. Now here's where you are going to be shocked, because me being the woman out there doing whatever, I'm sort of old school, and that is, if you were a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home mother, I don't think he should walk in the house and his dinner ain't cooked, or you at least went and got the McDonald's or something. Don't be sitting at home looking at him like, well, what we gonna eat? No, because see, I know every woman out there can't cook. That might not be your forte, okay, but at least could have something waiting on him when he gets home.
That's true.
That's true, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom.
That's true.
Or if you're a stay-at-home wife. If you're not, then to me, not the role shift, but there's a little more room to move, to a little more wiggle room in there, if you will.
Yes, because it depends on who gets off first.
Exactly.
Who's able to do this, and in other words, we work together.
That's the word
to
I'm
make
looking
it
for.
work.
That's the word I'm looking for. It is together. Husband and I both work, and so watch this. beat him home and cook and no. Brother, I've been at work too. So, and I love my husband. I honestly and truly do. And so he knows, watch this, he might not feel like cooking, but baby, I got you this. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We're working at this together. Now, baby, you want this, you want that. It goes both ways.
Yes, it does.
Now, watch this, because since we have so much role reversal, should the man be at home raising the kids? Oh, did I go there?
Yes, you did.
Especially with this day and age, did we go there?
Oh,
Huh?
because they're
role reversal, the man is the provider. Ooh. Read it in the Bible. Come on.
Yes.
He's a provider. Why is he at home with the kids? Now, if he's lost his job or haven't found one yet, that's something different. But him staying at home and she doing the work, then it's out of order.
Wow. Right to Dr. Roberts.
Write me. Let's watch this. Write me. Let's talk about it. Because if I'm taking his role, I'm taking his position, I'm taking who he is, his essence, and the respect that comes along with it. Come on now.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Oh, that's hard to think about when you are probably in that role right now.
Right.
And you just didn't know that that's what was happening, because sometimes we're in positions and doing things and we have no idea that that is not your role. That is the man's role. That is not your role. That is the woman's role. So it's very vital to know whose role it is
and what we should be doing. And watch this. And I'm not saying that we can't help each other. We can't do anything, because sometimes we have certain qualities that maybe the other one don't have. I like fixing on cars. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go out there and try to do something to a car, but my husband's usually right there, or, doing something around the car with me. So I'm not just out there being a little grease monkey or something. But I'm one of the women, I like fixing cars. I like boxing. I like, so I'm finding myself in a smaller piece of the pie as I keep talking. I like sports. And as a woman, we have to know how to shift and start liking things our husband like, or at least putting up with it. Especially, let's say your husband likes sports and you don't. So you leave him sitting in the room watching TV, and they got them little half-naked cheerleaders on there.
Oh.
But watch this, to spend some quality time with your husband. What's wrong with you sitting there with him? Well, it don't interest me, and I've heard this from a lot of women. You got to maybe this is a give and take.
Yes, that's true.
Marriage is give and take.
That's true.
And sometimes us women have to learn how to, if I want to spend some time with my husband, I might have to sit there and watch a football game.
And you know what? In order for him to want to do some of the things that we want to do as women, we do have to do.
We're going to have to give and take. We're going to have to give and take.
Give and take.
And this is another point that the women have to do. Watch this, and we'll get on the men too, that the women have to do. We have to learn how to know when, what's worth fighting about and what's not.
That's right. Pick your battles.
Pick them wisely. And women, let me share this with you too. The Bible says that a soft answer, you ain't saying nothing, turns away wrath. Watch this. So we have to know how to keep it on the low sometimes, even when we want to get with him, you ain't saying it. Even when we want to go, sorry, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, husband and I. We can't do that all the time.
No.
Now, we only have a few minutes left, but we had to switch and start talking about the man, because everything I just said,
yes,
a lot of that applies to the man too. Because some men come home and pick battles with their wives and do this and yell at them and be verbally abusive. I said it, but y'all write her. I said it sometimes, and it goes both ways. Verbally, abuse goes both ways.
It really does.
It really does.
And it tears up a relationship. It leaves wounds and scars. And so that's why we have to learn our individual roles and why we're coming together, so that we'll know how to treat each other. Because treating each other right builds a happy home, doesn't it?
It should.
When you're loving me and I'm loving my husband, and we're working together, it makes you want to come home. So where does all the negativity come from?
Folks talking. What? Which answer you want?
Well, why should it continue?
Why? You know what? I found out when I got married, my mother gave me 3 things to make sure to make sure we have a happy home. She said, good communication.
Good communication. That's true.
Learn how to make sure you can cook.
Okay.
And the other room is that room that we talk
That
we talked about.
room.
Yeah, that other room. Hello, that they think that's only what marriage is about, because that's not what it's about.
No, because
You know, so now we got our men out there, and you know, I'm a good husband. When was the last time you listened to your wife? When was the last time y'all sat down and had a conversation, not about the kids, not about everything else, but just you and her? Because see, a lot of times men don't want to get that quality time. My brothers need to work on quality time.
Quality time.
And
Focus.
quality time is not sitting there playing video games or looking at the new. I want to talk to you. See, we got married so we can spend that time together, and it wasn't always in front of a TV. But see, sometimes women, we got to listen to a man. Why does he want to sit there? Is he stressing out and he don't want to say it? Because a lot of our men are introverts.
Yes, they go into that, I call it a cave,
And they don't want to
process. And they're thinking about all the things that are going on in the household, in the family, with the children, all these different things that are happening, but they're not talking.
Right.
They're just thinking and processing what to do next.
Yes, and they process differently than we do women.
Yes.
So sometimes if you just see him sitting there, let him sit there for a moment and get his thoughts together.
Yes.
Because, you know, one thing I found out, you tell a man, baby, I want this, his mind starts working.
Yes.
Although he might not say anything.
Right.
His mind is working. How can I get this for my baby? How can I get this for my wife? And so sometimes they might not ever say anything.
That's right.
And then you come home and there's something on the table. You ain't saying that. You're like, what is this? Baby, remember you said that you wanted this 5 years ago? Excuse me? Right now.
2 months ago.
2 months ago. You like, you got it? Yeah, watch this. In his mind, where women are more vocal and we'll say it,
Yes.
men will just hold back and they'll just start thinking.
How to make it happen.
How to make it happen. They'll think how to make it happen. But then sometimes, my brothers, I want to say this to my men, look, y'all need to learn how to talk to us. Come on. If we communicate better, some things can get worked out a little bit better. I'm there to help him. You're there to help him.
Be a partner, a helpmate, to help meet.
Whatever demands that's on us. Come on, the vision,
the family,
the goal, whatever we got ahead of us, we're supposed to be able to help in that.
And push it forward.
And push it forward. You want to get something done, get some women involved. We can get it together, baby. We can get it together.
Yes, we can.
And so we want everybody to just realize, listen, we have our own respective positions in marriage.
Yes.
And we have to be comfortable in who we are. Comfortable in, I am the wife. I don't need to run around the house and say it. The man is the man. Watch this. A man's main thing is he want to be respected.
That's true. And honored.
He don't want to be called dirty, whatever names we can call them. We can come up with some names. Hello, watch this. In the church and outside the church. You ain't saying nothing. But no, watch this. Would you want to hear that when you walk in the door?
No.
Come on. Do you want to see the kids running through the house, turn up the house when you walk?
No.
Just give me a minute, let me rest and get myself together, and then he can jump in. But for my brothers that come home and don't want to do nothing, we're going to have a long talk about that one.
Yes, we are. Because that needs to change.
Especially if there's kids involved. They need to see daddy active as well.
Yes, they do.
And see, we can't sit here and tell you everything about being a man or what a man's, how he's supposed to walk. No, that's not why we're here. But we're not men, first of all. So we can't tell you every single thing. But we're just bringing out a few pointers that we've noticed, especially as married women, on some things that could be better.
Yes, to make it work. To keep it on a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to see more of. Christian marriages making it. And not dissolving.
You know what, Christian marriages, if you're not a Christian, you want your marriage to be better.
Yes.
We got to work at it. Marriages work. When you think about meshing, it is two people coming together to be one. Right. And so that's going to take some work, because sometimes them fingers don't always go together.
No, they don't.
You ain't saying nothing. Sometimes you might want to force it.
We don't always agree.
But we don't always agree. And that's a good point. Well, how do we disagree? How do we agree? Because watch this, I was taught a long time ago that you can disagree without becoming disagreeable.
Yes.
We're two different people, so we're not going to see eye to eye on
everything.
But
let's find a medium that we can both live with.
I like that.
And therefore, we can still come together.
Come together, right.
And build a happy home.
A marriage is about building. It's about building. It's about working together and getting it done. It is a wonderful thing when it's put in perspective.
Yes.
When we understand I'm supposed to do this. Oh, okay, and I'm supposed to do that. Not once did we say the woman has to do all the cooking, because some women can't cook and some brothers can. Or
Yes,
some men can.
that's true.
Some men can cook, really can cook. And so we're not saying little petty things like that, because sometimes we get hung up on the little petty things. If husband wants to cook that night, and he has, baby, go do what you do.
Yes, that's
And if I
right.
feel like cooking, I will. But it's us working together with a common bond and common goal, trying to get things resolved, pressing further and, going forward, even the more making this marriage work.
Yes. And I believe that's what keeps everything moving forward toward our goals, toward our next place,
Yes.
and the next things we want to accomplish as a family. And it keeps us together.
So watch this. I'm not trying to be the man, and he's not trying to be the woman.
That's
And I'm not
right.
trying to be his mother.
Come on now. Whoa,
That's
that's
good.
a whole
That's a
series.
whole right. We might have to do a series part 15 on that one. I'm not trying to be his mother, and he is definitely not trying to be my father.
That's
but watch
right.
this. As women, we're submitting and we're doing what we need to do. When you have a good husband, submit won't be an issue.
No,
I
it
found
won't
that
be an
out.
issue.
Submit will not be an
And it's
issue.
not hard, because he's going to always look out for our better good.
Right. And now watch this. The Bible does say, husbands, love your wives as Christ
Christ
loved
loved
the
the
church.
church.
Now, what we don't look at is everything that Christ did for the church, because some things we still figuring out. You ain't
That's
saying
right.
that. But couple things we do know, he died for the church. He labored for the church. He protects the church.
Yes.
He loves the church. Come on now. And if this is his bride, how the husband's supposed to love us that way.
Yes.
Huh? So that means, watch this, although it might not necessarily say men submit to your wives, but if you love her the way Christ loved the church, you won't have no problem.
It is easy.
It would be easy. I
When
like
you
that.
have respect for one
Yes.
another, when you cherish each other and love each other. Yeah, you have your heated fellowships, but you know
I like
how
the way
to
she put
bring
that.
it back around
Right,
and
right.
come back together in
Right,
unity
I
and
like
love.
that. I like them have to use that. Our heated fellowships, and we're working together, and we just want you all to love on each other, because marriage is honorable.
Yes,
It was ordained
ordained
by
by God.
Watch this, all the way back in the garden. This is something that we can't I can't say we can't mess up, because we see it's messed up every day. But I want you all to remember who you are in this marriage, how much the husband, and before we go, how much the husband loves you. Before we go, because we talked about real quick the husband doing all this stuff as Christ loved the church, but God is faithful. So husbands, you got to be
Faithful.
Wives, you got to be
Faithful.
There's only 3 people in the marriage, not 4 or 5.
No, not
6,
6.
7, 8
No,
or 9.
no.
No. Stop calling Bobby.
Stop,
Johnny.
Sarah.
Ooh,
out
Jesus,
the
just stop
bed.
it. Listen, you all,
So
tune
tired.
in with us next week. We're actually going to have our husbands on the show with us.
Yes, we are.
To do our final segment. Is this the honeymoon or the battlefield?
Oh.
We need you all to stay tuned. You want to your conference? How did it go?
Oh, it went wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, everyone, for their prayers and their presence. And
Yes.
God surely moved in a mighty way.
Yes,
we
He
thank
did.
God. We love you.
Yes,
God
yes.
bless you.
Talk to y'all later.